me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, when did I start feeling slower? Not just in your joints or your energy levels, but in your clarity, your recovery, your drive. If that resonates with you, you're not alone. In fact, it's one of the most common experiences I hear from my senior patients. But what if I told you that the answer isn't just a matter of age, that the hidden culprit may be something you've never even heard your doctor talk about: nitric oxide? Nitric oxide, or NO as it's often abbreviated, is a molecule that every single one of us produces in our bodies. And yet, most people have never heard of it. This humble compound is arguably one of the most important messengers in your vascular system, your brain, and even your immune response. And here's the real kicker. Your nitric oxide levels decline as early as your 40s and plummet by the time you hit your 60s. That decline contributes to fatigue, memory lapses, poor circulation, sexual dysfunction, high blood pressure, and the dreaded sense that you're just slowing down. Stick with me all the way to the end of this episode, because we're going to break down how nitric oxide works, the foods and habits that support it, the myths that get in the way, and the one natural formula I recommend most to my male patients over 60 who want to feel truly vibrant again. I'll even answer some of your top questions about circulation, energy, and whether boosting nitric oxide can help you feel more like yourself again. But before we go deep into the science, let me tell you about Richard. Richard is a retired engineer in his late 60s. Brilliant man, built bridges in 5 countries. But by the time he came to see me, he said, "I feel like a dimmer switch has been turned down inside me." His memory was foggy. His workouts felt flat. His libido had dropped off, and he was getting winded just walking his dog. His cardiologist said everything looked fine for his age. But Richard didn't want fine. He wanted vitality, purpose, energy. Together, we started looking under the hood, and that's when we found his nitric oxide levels were significantly depleted. Within 90 days of working with me, using food-based strategies and one particular supplement I'll talk about later, Richard came back and said, "I feel like someone flipped the switch back on." Now, if you've never heard of nitric oxide before, let's zoom out for a moment. This molecule was named Molecule of the Year by Science magazine in 1992 and earned the scientists who discovered its cardiovascular effects the 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine. It's a vasodilator, meaning it helps blood vessels relax and widen, allowing for better blood flow. That means more oxygen and nutrients can get to your brain, heart, muscles, and yes, your reproductive organs. It also plays a role in neurotransmission and immune function. It's like a biochemical traffic cop that keeps things flowing smoothly across systems. But here's the catch. As we age, our body's natural nitric oxide production drops dramatically. One study found that by age 60, you're producing only about 15% of the nitric oxide you did in your 20s, and the impact is widespread. Men notice it first in their energy and sexual performance. Women notice it in their circulation, memory, and endurance. Both notice it in their recovery, stamina, and emotional resilience. Let's talk about how to rebuild it and the fruits and foods that help. There's one fruit in particular I want to highlight, not because it's trendy or exotic, but because it's been quietly saving lives and restoring energy for centuries: the beetroot. Yes, humble beets. Beets are naturally rich in nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. When you eat beets, especially raw, juiced, or fermented, your body receives the precursors it needs to stimulate nitric oxide production in a safe, natural way. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who consumed beetroot juice before exercise experienced improved blood flow to the brain and muscles, along with better stamina and oxygen efficiency. Another randomized trial found that beet juice consumption over just 2 weeks lowered blood pressure and improved endothelial function, the inner lining of blood vessels, in hypertensive adults. And that's just the beginning. Historical accounts show that Roman gladiators were often given a fermented beet beverage before battle to enhance strength and focus. In traditional Eastern European medicine, beets were used to rejuvenate the blood and restore red color to the face, phrases that today we would interpret as circulation and vitality. I had another patient, James, a former firefighter. He came in complaining of low energy and mild erectile dysfunction. He'd tried all the usual suspects, caffeine, protein powders, even testosterone creams, but nothing stuck. After running some labs, I saw his endothelial function was impaired, likely due to years of stress and poor sleep. We started him on a simple routine: beet juice every morning, leafy greens with dinner, and a formula that included L-citrulline and L-arginine, 2 amino acids that support nitric oxide. Within 6 weeks, he said, "My wife told me I'm walking taller. I didn't even realize I'd been slouching." Of course, beets aren't the only answer. Other nitric oxide-supporting foods include spinach and arugula, watermelon, rich in L-citrulline, pomegranate, great for endothelial health, garlic, stimulates nitric oxide synthase, dark chocolate, increases bioavailability of nitric oxide. But diet alone isn't always enough, especially if you're over 60 and already seeing signs of decline. And that's exactly why I often recommend STEM Active to my patients. Because no matter how healthy your diet is, if your body's ability to convert nitrates into nitric oxide is sluggish, you'll still struggle. STEM Active is a comprehensive nitric oxide support formula designed specifically for men and women over 60. It contains beetroot powder, pomegranate, pine bark extract, L-citrulline, and adaptogens to help balance energy, mood, and circulation. It's one of the few natural products I've seen that supports nitric oxide and stem cell function without harsh stimulants or synthetic hormones. My patients report improved stamina, better blood pressure readings, more restful sleep, and, most importantly, a sense of internal momentum again. It's stimulant-free, doctor-formulated, made in the USA, and comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you'd like to try it, scan the QR code on the screen or tap the link in the description. And now, let's get back to more science. Now I want to clear up a few myths. Myth number 1. Nitric oxide boosters are only for athletes. Not true. In fact, older adults stand to benefit more than young athletes. Why? Because your decline is more dramatic and the improvements are more noticeable. Myth number 2. Erectile dysfunction is a hormone problem. Also not true. While testosterone can play a role, most ED in aging men is related to blood flow, and blood flow is directly related to nitric oxide. I've seen patients reverse ED symptoms without ever touching their hormone levels, just by improving endothelial function and nitric oxide balance. Myth number 3. Blood pressure medications solve the problem. Blood pressure meds manage symptoms, but they don't fix the root issue. Supporting nitric oxide helps the body regulate itself instead of overriding it with pharmaceuticals. Let's talk about synergy. Supporting nitric oxide works best when paired with daily lifestyle practices, like 15 to 20 minutes of brisk walking per day, deep nasal breathing, not mouth breathing, quality sleep, because nitric oxide is produced during REM sleep, sauna therapy. Heat stress stimulates nitric oxide release. Cold exposure? Yes, cold showers can help stimulate circulation. Intermittent fasting. This encourages nitric oxide sensitivity and reduces inflammation. Now let's go into some of the most common questions I get from my senior patients. Question: can nitric oxide really help my memory? Absolutely. Blood flow is crucial for cognitive performance. Multiple studies have shown that nitric oxide supports hippocampal function and synaptic plasticity. Patients often report less brain fog and sharper recall within weeks. Question: is nitric oxide safe for people with heart disease? Yes, but always talk to your cardiologist. Many heart medications already influence nitric oxide pathways. In most cases, dietary support like beetroot and leafy greens is not only safe, it's encouraged. Question: will nitric oxide help with energy? Yes. Most of what we perceive as low energy is actually low oxygen delivery to our cells. Nitric oxide widens the vessels, allowing more nutrients and oxygen to reach your mitochondria, the engines of your cells. Question: how long does it take to notice a difference? In my clinic, most people notice subtle improvements in stamina and recovery within 7 to 10 days. Blood pressure and libido changes may take 3 to 6 weeks. The key is consistency. Question: can women benefit from nitric oxide too? Absolutely. While much of the research focuses on men, nitric oxide is vital for female circulation, mood, memory, and hormone balance. As we begin to close, I want to bring this back to something deeper. Nitric oxide is not a magic pill, but it is a key messenger, a signal your body uses to say, "Yes, I'm ready to thrive." Supporting that signal is one of the most empowering steps you can take as you age. You are not meant to fade, you are meant to become. And at VitaPrime Health, we walk this journey with you, step by step, heartbeat by heartbeat. If you found this episode helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone you love, a spouse, a friend, a brother, because this information has the power to change lives. And be sure to leave a comment below. Let me know, have you ever tried nitric oxide support? What did you notice? Your story could help someone else find hope. This is Dr. Eleanor Vance, and remember, your prime isn't behind you, it's just getting started.